Hey guys, it's the Onion here, and today we're going to just be talking about Chrono Trigger. Right, it's my little review thing. The game doesn't really even need a review. If you want like a very cool, professional, super in-depth review, and I'm going to move my mic here for a little bit. Sorry if you hear the noise there, but if you want a super cool, very professional review, there are so many other YouTubers out there who could give you one. This is just a 40-year-old guy's look back on it after having somewhat recently played through again. And so yeah, here we go. First off, Chrono Trigger. For anybody who's ever met me in my entire life knows that Chrono Trigger is in my top 3 for favorite video games. And I say top 3 just because I'm reluctant to actually like define it as like number 1 or whatever. And the other 2 being a game that played on DOS called Master of Magic. And then another game that was a little more recent than these 2, which was Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'll probably do something with that later. But anyway, we're talking about Chrono Trigger. Let's get to Chrono Trigger. This game, just what it means to me, is something very special. It was the very first RPG that I'd ever played. Ever. And I remember going to my friend who lived across the street from me. I went to his house one night and I slept over, as kids do. And I seen the game sitting on his shelf, and I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's my cousin's game. You should check it out. It's kind of cool." And so I put it in there, and I'm playing, and I'm like, "Hey, how do you jump?" This is the first game that I had actually played where there was no jump command. And I just didn't understand what an RPG was. But I ended up staying up till like 4 a.m. just playing that after I kind of figured out what it was, and I was like, I could not get enough of that game. And I ended up asking his cousin, who actually lived next door to me, if I could borrow it from him. And he was cool with it, and I put so much time into it. And then he was like, "Hey, I need my game back." And I was like, "No," I really didn't want to give it up. And so I guess a lot of it is a nostalgia thing for me. It's just it brought me back to a time where the world was not so crazy, because I was a kid and I didn't know anything. I'm sure the world was just as crazy. So, and I first played that probably, it had to have been the year it came out, which was what, 95? Was it 95? I'm not going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was I'm almost certain it was 95. And so that was the first time I played it, and I've been a hardcore Chrono Trigger fan ever since then. So let's talk about the game. What is Chrono Trigger? It's I guess it's defined as a JRPG technically. It's about this young fellow who bumps into this girl, and just the time. You've already played Chrono Trigger. I don't know that I need to explain the story to you. You know what I mean? And even if you haven't, go play the game. It's so much. This game actually kind of I was already writing at that age, just short stories, and that game made me really want to become a writer, and I guess I've currently got 4 books published right now, and I suppose I would say that like Chrono Trigger was a giant inspiration for writing in general for me. It was just because of all the different tales, and then just as I ended up playing more and more RPGs, it just really kind of reaffirmed that for me, And in fact, after I played Chrono Trigger, I remember I pinned down a movie script for a Chrono Trigger movie because I thought that would have been so cool. of course, you know, looking back now, we know that Hollywood would have messed that up. Probably would still mess that up 100%. Um, I mean, you know, it's about time travel. Who doesn't like time travel? It's such a cool thing. I love it. You know, events that you know, you do something in the past. You know, it kind of happens. Like for example, you open up a chest anywhere in like 600 AD. That chest is opened from from the future, or from then on. Like you go to the future, it's already open. You can't get anything out of it. And I thought that was a super cool thing of gameplay. The big thing I want to talk about for gameplay though is the battle system, the active battle system. Is that what it was called? That was just awesome. I hate it later on in all, like, and it's just in any Final Fantasy series or Final Fantasy game where it's like, oh, you walk around and it's like, okay, sometimes I don't want to fight. You know, I'm just trying to get somewhere so I can save and just kind of be done. Chrono Trigger is like, at least you saw the mobs on the map, you know, and you could try to avoid them. I don't recommend it because, I mean, like, it's not like the mobs are super hard to begin with. It's I think, a fairly easy game. But I liked that they were on the screen, and I liked that it was up to you if you wanted to. And then occasionally there were fights you could not get out of, or that you could not dodge. For example, at the Toronto lair, where the dinosaurs were just kind of and fall, you know, in the area. So the battle system was nice. You know what I mean? So I liked that. The magic system, it was a cool way it got explained with I can't even pronounce it. It was a Specco, the little monster at the end of the time. And the only thing that ever bothered me was that both Frog and Marl were water-based magic. That felt a little unimaginative. I don't know why, but I feel like a different kind of element for one of them would have been way cooler. It just, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was right. I mean, so there's that, you know, the gameplay. I mean, I can't tell you enough how much this game was. It was just fun. It was fun. The time travel thing was super cool. You know what I mean? It's like, what is that? 5 or 6 open world maps just opened up to you. Now, granted, a lot of those, or a handful of those maps, not very populated, like 600 AD and 1000 AD are, you know. So it's, you know, keep that in mind. But it was still a very cool thing. Oh, and then you get the you know, like in every RPG, you get that flying ship, you know, and it was really cool. Just a flying time machine. That so cool. I even plan on getting a. I love this game so much. I plan on getting a tattoo of a new. So that's how much this game means to me. It was so fun, the game, you know. Just seeing the different weapons when you actually bought them. I think I want to say it changed the animations of things and even the look once you were in battle, but I don't quote me on that. I guess we'll talk about like graphics next, you know, like, now I don't want to say that these were the best graphics ever on the Super Nintendo, but I think at the time they were pretty, excuse my French, bossa nova, you know what I mean? So I just, even to this day, I wish I saw more games that resembled the look of Chrono Trigger, you know? Because you've got all these new guys out there, and you guys are doing God's work out there, making these new, you know, pixel-based RPGs, and they look amazing. They look amazing. But for me, none have captured that look and feel. Because I see a lot of people compare Sea of Stars to Chrono Trigger, and they're like, "Oh, it's just like it." I played a little bit of Sea of Stars, and I can look. Unpopular opinion here. I don't think it's anything like Chrono Trigger. I don't know where the comparison's coming from. Is it because it's a pixel based RPG like that. There's a ton of those. Is it because there's a nice composition for, like, music? There's a ton of those too. I I'll be honest with you, I don't care for the gameplay of that game. But that's just me. I urge you to go out there and try that game, Sea of Stars. But for me, it wasn't my thing, and I don't find that it's very comparable to Chrono Trigger. But yeah, the graphics were so good. If I had to complain about anything in the graphics, it was that some of the magic spells were kind of lame. But you take what you get, in 95, and I will definitely take that. And again, I will probably play Chrono Trigger in another 6 months, just to do it all over again, because that's how much I like that game. And that the game ain't nothing, in my opinion, if you don't have a good musical score, right? And I love the Chrono Trigger soundtrack so much that I listen to it when I write. When I'm writing on my book, especially my fantasy series, when I'm writing that, I will have like an OC remix radio. I think there's a station or something like that, or I've got a bunch of songs downloaded from them, and I'll just go through that playlist. They've got so many very talented musical or musicians on that site, by the way, and you should check them out, ocremix.org. But yeah, I listen to their, the remixes of this stuff. I listen to the original soundtrack. I love the music in that game so much. I cannot stress how wonderful that music is. 600 AD, is it the kind of one? I don't recall the name of it right now, like the piece, but that's one of my favorites. And then I think it's green is it Green Dream? I don't know. It's the song that kind of it's like the piano theme, or the main theme, but done in a slow piano when you leave towns in 1000 AD. That's another of my favorite pieces. Everybody loves the battle with Magus. It's okay, that's a good one. It's a great one, but it's just, for me, I prefer the very slow, kind of chilled, almost kind of melancholy things, because that's generally how I write. The soundtrack was just, it is 10 out of 10. Damn, you know what I mean? And so, overall, I guess I would give Chrono Trigger 1000% a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. What I don't know. Do we want an onion rating system? 5 out of 5 onions? I don't know. Super. I got no onion rated. 5 out of 5. 10 out of 10. It is hands down a game. If you have a Super Nintendo, if you're getting into collection of retro gaming, Chrono Trigger should be in your collection. It should be in your collection. Play it. Look, get mad at me, Nintendo, if you want to, but everything I've played so far has been on original hardware, okay, including Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I record from a composite video card. ROM it if you have to. I look, sorry, I said it. ROM it. It's such a good game. It's so good. Now, granted, if you're trying to compare it to things today, it's going to fall a little bit, because the game came out, in 95. That's a lifetime ago. You know what I mean? So, get out there, play it, appreciate it, listen to that music. It's so good, so good. So it's making me want to just break it out right now and play it. Get out there, play it. And I can almost guarantee that you will fall in love with it, as I have. Because, man, that was just such a great game. Such a great game. So that's my review for Chrono Trigger. I know it wasn't a super great professional one, but I'm just being honest with it. And if you dig that, a like, share, and subscribe would be appreciated. And thank you guys. Y'all have a wonderful day.